Alright, hey guys, so I'm out in this cool wetlands area and I'm looking for toads. It's raining, or it was, so I thought I'd look on the road, on the back roads, and see if I can catch it. I'm watching the water here, and if you just keep an eye on the water, it's not actually currently raining, so all those little ripples are tadpoles coming to the surface. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, it's October. I mean, granted it's 60 and raining, so it's still kind of warm. But I'm like, it's too late for tadpoles. Why are there tadpoles? And then I remembered bullfrog tadpoles take 2 years to develop. So most of these are probably bullfrog tadpoles. Or, the other thing I'm thinking is it's kind of late in the year, but it's also still warm. Maybe they went through a second breeding cycle. The frogs and toads and stuff. I mean, you can hear out there. They're definitely doing their stuff, their calls. Actually, here, I'll go over here. This area is pretty active. So I'm starting to think, or wonder if maybe I should come back up with like a dip net or something and just see if I can scoop some tadpoles up. And I mean, obviously if they're bullfrog I won't need them. I need toad. But I could look in some of my reptile and amphibian books, or the internet, you know, greatest tool known to man, and see if they're toad tadpoles. And if they are toad tadpoles, then I'll just raise a bunch up, or you know, a couple. But I mean, they're darting up all over the place. Although these definitely have white bellies, so I don't know if they're toad tadpoles or not. I know from the experience I've had with catching toad tadpoles that they're usually solid black, if I remember, or green, you know, like a dark green. There's tons of frogs up here though. I mean, they're all over the place. But surprisingly, a lack of toads. Knowing my luck, all the toads have gone underground, or are back in the water, way out there. But I just thought it was cool. Thought you guys would find it interesting. You know, all those little tadpoles popping up to the surface for breaths of air. So, yeah, see? Actually, those are probably bullfrog tadpoles from this year, because they're not big enough. I mean, bullfrog tadpoles, once they hit about 2 years old, they're, you know, they're a good 2 inches long and huge. I might pop up to Petco today and see about getting myself a big old fish net. You know, just skim along the muck around here and see what I can pull up. But I know for a fact this place is loaded with turtles. I don't want a turtle, I'm just saying I know for a fact. Over here, if you go across, we used to do this when I was younger. Granted, I haven't done it in a while, but if you go over here and you start throwing bread out there, there's a big old bullfrog. There's a ton of fish, minnows, and when you stir up all the minnows, it'll stir up the turtles. There's a bunch of painted turtles, and if you keep doing it, just keep throwing bread out there and stir up the turtles, eventually, when the weeds are down, there are 3 just monstrous snapping turtles out there. I remember one year, all these weeds were wilted over and just flat, and way out there, I look out there, and it looks like there's a rock moving. I mean, it was huge, and it just comes stomping along the top of the weeds like Turtlezilla, and it was freaking great. I also remember one year over here, on this side, there's a drainage ditch. Well, I mean, plus they come up across the road. But my friend was like, "Hey man, look, a turtle." And I'm like, oh. And he's like, yeah, that's a pretty decent sized turtle. And I mean, and he goes, that's what he says. And I'm like, dude, that's its head. And he goes, what? And then the snapping turtle surfaces. And the thing that he thought was the entire turtle was actually the head of the snapping turtle. And I mean, the head on that snapping turtle was about the size of my fist. You know, like big old, just monster snapping turtle. But, yeah. Well, you can see the fish are kind of swarming out there. Something fell in the water. It looks like a flower. And they're trying to eat it. But I don't know, maybe before it gets too cold, I'll come up here and throw some bread in the water, see if I can stir some turtles and show you guys. That's rain. But, alright, well, looks like it's going to start raining again, so I'm going to get back in the car. Actually, if it's going to start raining heavily, I might just hang out here for a little bit and see if anything comes up on the road. And then, if not, I'll head up that way. And this is pretty much the back roads between a fishing spot that I use and the new house. So, I'll go check the backyard in the new house. There's a lot of plants and toad territory, and then I'll go home and go to bed. I mean, this is after work. It's like 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning, so it's nice and quiet though. I mean, you know, everybody's going to church, so, and I don't. Alright, yeah, it's starting to rain, so I'm going to get my phone and my fat butt back in the car and see if anybody will come up on land.